This podcast is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability, criminal prosecution, and the wrath of the tall man.
Boy! Hey, let's talk about you, the ID10T community events at ID10T.com, like Russ Stevens, a.k.a.
Cat Bus Russ,
who has started a podcast called 90 for Chill, which Russ says is dedicated to movies with a runtime between 74 and 99 minutes, the time frame that I feel is ideal. Russ, I could not agree with you more. That is a fantastic idea. Russ goes on to say there are times you need a cinematic fix but don't have time for the latest Scorsese masterpiece or offering from a comic book universe. There's also times when you need a conclusion to prevent a binge costing you a whole night. My guest and I try to follow these guidelines as we chat up features that are definitely worth your time and are beyond easy to make time for. 90 for Chill, the podcast, can be found on all major podcast platforms at 90forchill.com, and that's spelling out 90, N-I-N-E-T-Y, 4 F-O-R, chill. So there you go. Thank you so much for sharing, Russ. Really great idea for a podcast. Events at ID10T.com for everyone else.
Revenge is not the Jedi way.
I am no Jedi.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
Hey, Cat Bus Russ here. Just got back from the second day of Fan Expo New Orleans. This is 90 for Chill, the podcast. This is a bonus episode, and I should say this is I Dig Crazy Flicks presents 90 for Chill, the podcast with Cat Bus Russ. Give it some time, then we'll just do I Dig Crazy Flicks with Cat Bus Russ, and just know that it's gonna always try to be a movie podcast. I mean, my goal is to make it a podcast about 70 to 100 minute movies. And honestly, after this day at the con, since I didn't have a movie review to put into this bonus episode, I had to stop and think, is this a 90 for Chill episode or just an I Did Crazy Flicks episode? And then I stop and think, well, the only real celebrity I saw was Ashley Eckstein, the voice of Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. And, I was there opening weekend back in 2008. I don't know why I put the "and" before that. I digress. Back when it was an interesting relationship with that girl. It was one, she didn't attend with me opening weekend, but yeah, I saw the original Star Wars Clone Wars movie, and I've actually incorporated it in one of my early scripts. I was writing about my wrestling career. We'll talk about a little about that when we get to the conversation I had with TJ and Plato from the NOLA film scene when we get there. But the point of the matter is Star Wars Clone Wars 2008, under 100 minutes. So we're going to keep that focus today. And, I kind of slipped up today. Set my alarm a little too early. A little too late to accommodate some manscaping. Sorry if that's too much information. But, hey, I was going to see the Arial Space Squad today. So, they're keeping up there. I better keep up mine. Okay. And then, just doing all my social media posts. I had plenty of time because, again, there really wasn't too many panels that interest me today. The only one I wanted to see was Anthony Daniels, and again, just by the time I got my lift and the traffic, and since everybody's in town now, it's not like yesterday for me, Friday, where I can get there early because exhibitor and all that nonsense. Basically, kids aren't out of school yet. by the time they open it. So, yeah, so I missed Anthony Daniels, so little sore about that, and I can't make it to the con tomorrow because got to catch the train back to Champaign-Urbana. That's going to be leaving around 1:30, arriving back home around 6:30. I don't know if Allie's going to give me a ride from the train station that day. But it is nice, though. Then I'll have the entire day to recuperate at least. So, looking forward. Am I looking forward to going back home? I mean, it's a big city that I'm in, and it's kind of like, this just feels more right to me. And have not really gotten to see too much of New Orleans. I did walk back to the hotel from the con yesterday, but, and thought, maybe I should check in here, stop in here. And it's like, I was wearing my leather jacket for my Captain N cosplay the entire day. It's hot in the con, so it's just, I thought I was stinky. So, and I'm debating right now with whether to shower or not. I mean, it's a good stench, right? I've been active. Well, so, yeah, get back to the point. Yeah, so I still got to go get some food. The restaurant here is at the hotel, the Hilton Canopy on Tulane. I'm sure it's great food. I'm just not into, I'm really was fighting with myself. Do I just order the gumbo or, take my chances, with the holy trinity of spices or, basically I wasn't going to do it the cafeteria style restaurant they had. Or food court, as they said it in the, you get to see the hamburgers being put in, fried. Oh, well, grilled. Cool. Thrown into the heating thing. All right. And then water put on it. It's steam hams. I'm not a Simpsons guy. Well, I'm a Simpsons guy, but come on. So that was basically how they kept warm. And then, I eventually just settled, okay, I'll grab a hot dog there somewhere at a stand outside the con. And it was kind of like, disappointed they wouldn't give me a receipt. Like, hey, some people are here on business. I need my food to write off, I suppose. Good hot dog, though. I'm not going to fault him on that. So it's like back to The Simpsons when Barney got his first beer after Prohibition returned to Springfield. This better be the best beer I've ever had. You got lucky. So, yeah, if that's really the only thing I have to bitch about, the food situation, I think I'm doing okay. I found a place I want to check out, basically Voodoo Chickens and Daiquiris. So, and there's an after party I want to get to. So, let me see. Do I have to get my butt off the chair? I'm currently recording this podcast with my new giant, and they called it short, but Sailor Moon mouse pad. And we're talking pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, not this Deke stuff. So, yeah, I finally got to the con, and I was roaming around a bit. As I say, I didn't meet TJ and Brian. I should have probably texted them. And, TJ, when I sent you that email with the file I put together last night, if it's not up to stuff, let me know. So we can go and you can send me your recording if you got that recording. And hey, I'm just being realistic. And they're still using the same speaker from Wizard World, the infamous one from 2023. 2023? No, the 2024 Fan Expo Chicago, the debut panel for 90 for Chill. So, I was wandering about, and this is when I'm biting and buying stuff. I ran into Bootleg Safaris, and this fits the 90 for Chill bit. Aaron Reynolds, who had his booth, talked to him a little bit, talked some Argonaut football, comparing Rodgers to Wrigley. A little bit of fun there. Cool guy. We're just reminisced a little bit about Twin Cities Con, and I gave him my button for Fan Expo Norns, and wouldn't you know it, I put a pelican on it to kind of make it different than my yellow and purple from Twin Cities Con. Yeah, my Twin Cities Con. That badge is, that patch, I should say. Oh, no, it's a button. Is just yellow and purple. This one I did same purple clapper board in the logo, green background, and I put the pelican on there just so I can get all the Mardi Gras colors in there. And speaking of Mardi Gras, Brian was telling me about his I'm sorry if I'm gonna screw it up, the Doctor Who fat characters, cute little things. I'm sorry, I really wish he could have gotten Doctor Who dat done, especially since, hey, the Saints were my team. I don't really cheer for football anymore. I'm second generation Bill fan, and my family had season tickets until the new building gets built. So, yeah, I do follow the Bills. That's just the family thing. I guess, that does sound kind of awful or dare I say hypocritical, because, well, you think football's too violent a sport, but you'll still cheer for the Bills. It's like, I don't know, it makes me feel like those kids at U of I who have no bloody business wearing Chief of Linnerwick. Come on. We're at a liberal college. Be freaking woke. But, make an exception for us. I mean, I guess if you're second generation Illini, I can see that, something to bond with your parents about. But then that's like saying, well, we can bond over the Commanders, and you can wear my old former football, hand me down the old former football name of the Washington Football Club gear. So slippery slope. So I gotta watch out, I guess. Am I really aspiring? Yeah, no, I'm aspiring to be a woke warrior, I suppose. I was arguing if I should get some of the. So there was Crimson Dawn booth where they sold primarily Star Wars stuff, some simple 3D printed stuff like dragons or lizards. But they did have a bunch of, aside from lightsabers, which were very interesting. Too bad I just can't get them back home on this trip. They had like flags, like the rainbow, and then the pride flag with the Rebel logo on it, and they also had the Imperial. So, geez, mixed messages there. There was another booth that was selling Kinky Geek buttons and such, where they had T-shirts though as well, where it was like I don't know, a rainbow Punisher skull, and they had Nazi punks F off, but instead of the swastika, it was the Imperial logo. So yeah, we gotta like, I don't know. That's just, it's kind of like, and I guess it's kind of like, how people embrace the Confederate flag still. It's like, well, it just it's something that identifies the South. And it's like, yeah, like the Imperial logo, it represents the evil. And there are differences between the Old Republic and the Imperial logo. So you know where I'm going with that. Right, so, but getting back to it, I ran into Aaron Reynolds of Effin' Birds is his comic, and he does the Bootleg Safari. And it was fun going to his panel to close my night out, at the con at least. I don't think I'm going to go to the after party under the sea ball. Like, Back to the Future is a little sore with me right now. So, trying to find that the superhero speakeasy, that's what I want to attend. There. From the Arial Space Squad. So that's, so yeah, chicken. I'm going to get chicken and daiquiri somewhere. That's what I'm going to do, and I want to check out that. So Lyft's been very good to me. So I had an unfortunate Uber, and I don't really want to blame anybody on that one. They gave me the money back. So, but, Hilton suggested Lyft, and it's been working out fine. Maybe $13 a ride at most. Of course, I do I'll wait 15 minutes, no rush. So, yeah, I had fun conversation with Aaron, and I made it to his panel at the end of the night. And with that said, though, I need to apologize to Jamie Ray. Looking at it, Jamie Ray from Plastic Microphone Studios, and on top of that, he hosts a podcast called Fave 5 from Fans, and he's got a podcast and he's doing a panel. It's like, oh shoot, but you're doing it during Bootleg Safari, and I'm sorry, I have to see What's Wrong with SpongeBob, which is something teased by Aaron to me for the panel, and oh gosh, that was horrific. Some of them, some people said, oh, is that a melted candy? I'm thinking, no, I think I've seen that kind of cheap stuff at one of the head shops in Champaign. They'll blow something real quick and it kind of looks like BB-8. So that's my experience with that. But there was a really creepy freaking nightlight, and then there was one image of a SpongeBob which had Squidward's nose, but the picture made it look like he had a pink body. So it's weird Harley Quinn, the cartoon. Spoilers, Harley and Quinn and Poison Ivy may have a daughter. Time travel and stuff, they may not now. But how did they manage that? Science, I suppose. But I think generally most people thought the SpongeBob nightlight with the nose that was pointed in the wrong direction and was your kids are not going to be afraid of the dark anymore if you turn that light on. So, hey, I was afraid of the dark for, probably till my mid-teens. I think it was basically once I discovered sleeping in, I got over being afraid of the dark. Embraced the darkness. And now I probably overcompensate like that crooked owner in The Natural. A movie I haven't watched from beginning to end, but, just seems way too corny for me. But I guess, since we got the magical baseball bats, we could do it on I Did Crazy Flicks. Just throwing it out there. But I did get to, so I passed my information on to Jamie Ray, and it's like, oh, I'd love to collaborate. And you came here all the way from Chicago, and I'm 3 hours south. Don't give me that much credit. So he was a really cool guy, and they had a panel for Fave 5 from Fans, a podcast where basically him and his guests just discuss 5 favorite films from some topic and from some genre, some theme. And there's no wrong answers, and it's I kind of think there are, but hopefully I'll be able to collaborate with him. I did attend his panel. I just had to sneak out to catch Bootleg Safari. His panel was about, what was it? 5 fave horror movies to show to non-horror fans. And, they recommended some good stuff, because basically most of them just thought it was the blood and gore that turned people off of horror. So, you can get into A Quiet Place, a movie that still scares the poop out of me, and I have not watched it. And Infanticide at the beginning of the film, I think it's a hard sell. No. Get Out was another movie suggestion. That was pretty good. I'll give them that. I have not seen. That's one of those weak points in me. I have a copy in iTunes. I just had not watched it yet. It's a mood thing, but I do think Get Out might qualify for 90 for Chill the Podcast. So, hey, just a bunch of suggestions out there. And but Jamie eventually just recommended The Wolfman from 41 and The Invisible Man by 33, which I've done on the podcast with the Ray and Ween from the Booze, Boobs, and Blood podcast. So I guess they just earned themselves a rewind episode. I'd like to save that for the Halloween season, but with that being said, I might have to bump that up just because of my plans to finally get rid of Podbean connection. I'm sorry, guys. do not recommend Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro and Glenn Beck to me, okay? That just tells me we're in a time where it's not free speech, it's paid speech. So, do I risk it? Do I break my rule? I mean, we're only 19 minutes in. Do I say, Nazi punks off? So I'll hold myself back. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get rid of my archives and officially kill the original feed of 90 for Chill, the podcast, which you can still find though on YouTube. So it's not totally gone, and I think that one is technically 90forchill.com, the podcast. Yeah, I'm too wordy. I know that. I'm long-winded, and you all know that. Okay, so yeah, Jamie Ray was really cool. Then I got to my first panel. After buying a bunch of stuff, I eventually realized, whoa, we're hitting 3 or 4 places, and you've spent $40. I only spent $29. It was going to be $40 Canadian from Aaron Reynolds' table, but hey, exchange rate made it $29 and some change. I bought the movie he produced, a B movie called Galaxy Warriors. He promises all practical effects, and kind of proud of the lousy effects that are going to be in there. So can't wait to watch that. Maybe I can get Aaron on the podcast to talk about that one. Hint, hint. All right. I guess, hey, let's get off the effing birds here. You can find his art, though, at eatf.art. You can figure out the joke there. So that's the domain, eatf.art. Okay. So you can find his artwork there. He does a comic book called Effin' Birds, and it's just birds cursing. Nice drawings, birds cursing. Okay. Why did I go back to Aaron? So I was at his panel. We got in a pretty good discussion, I think. Me and him kind of got heated about Bruno Mattei. He showed us the Star Wars knockoff called Humanoid, and this is one I'm probably going to have to look, especially when he showed us the ending, which is kind of really weird. And then on top of that, it's got the I guess I am a Simpsons guy. Poochie died on his way back to his home planet bit. But Humanoid, Star Wars knockoff, Barbara Bach is the villain. It's Italian, directed by George B. Lewis. Definitely a pseudonym. Pseudonym. That's the right word. And starring Richard Kiel as a Chewbacca character, but he at least looks human. And there's some weird stuff, but definitely Italian effects. So yeah, it's got to be better than Shocking Dark, which is the Terminator 2 1989, which we got in an argument about. He's saying it's great, and I'm like, no. And I think I've spoke about Shocking Dark on the podcast. So, all right, that was a suggestion from Brad Jones, the cinema snob. So, yeah, you just can't trust these people you meet at cons, I suppose. Okay. So I didn't do any panel. I mean, the first panel I got to actually was the Ashley Eckstein from Our Universe clothing line, Her Universe clothing line. But she made her name pretty much from being the original Ahsoka Tano in Clone Wars and Rebels. And, it was just a love fest for Star Wars, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I honestly, I really wish we had more of that. Well, maybe I'm just on the internet too much, or I'm talking to people who just I won't watch the new Star Wars. It's like, come on. You loved it, and you'll find something to love. There we go. Fun little Mad Lib. I don't know, maybe I'm above Mad Libs, or once I hear something stupid, not silly, just stupid, I kind of zone out. But she was very, very humble, and that's what you like to see from celebrities. And back to celebrities and back to Aaron, I kind of, eavesdropped, waiting to chat with him about a guy saying, oh, I went to see this guy gets paid. And like, I found out the con game, the Comic Con game, not the con game, about how celebrities get paid. Basically, they are promised they will make this much money when they hit a con, and if they don't make that much money, the con will pay the difference. So they don't get paid up front. So Mark Hamill was promised $2 million at Fan Expo Chicago last year, and he only does one con a year. So $800 for the ultimate Mark Hamill experience. I get it now. So, especially since, like, we talked about it on, and it's definitely in the In Love with Movies podcast episode I did about I Heart Huckabees with Nick and Danny. He's saying, well, come on, he's got Star Wars. He doesn't really have to worry about money. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, he's not going to get a leading role in anything soon. I mean, that's, and he's humble. See, millionaire who's pretty humble, and he's like, got it right. If you're MAGA, go Trump yourself. No, go force yourself. Sorry. But, I don't know, trumping yourself sounds a little more painful. And then I did, as I said, I checked out Jamie Ray's first 15 minutes of his panel, and that kind of sums up the day. Some merch I bought. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I did not talk about the actual Arial Space Squad, which is a fun little, it's not burlesque. I mean, they're doing pole and hoop dancing. And when I say hoop dancing, the raised hoop. And, they're putting their butts on the line. And I have to admire that. And, all pretty fit. And love that we have a couple of males doing drag, essentially, for the show. I could probably question some musical choices, or, like, I could have been a little more... Yeah, I could be a critic. Because, spent so much time at clubs with women performing. Yeah, there we go. But, no, I mean, you got to appreciate all the effort they put in. And then on top of that, they do this during Mardi Gras, being dragged by one of the husband's bicycle. And, and I don't mean to rip on the South too much, but again, the media makes it look pretty correct. So there are definitely potholes in the French Quarter they're going to deal with come Fat Monday. There we go. That's what I was talking about, TJ and Dr. Whodad. No, sorry, Brian and Dr. Whodad. Like, he said he was getting, he's got a couple of those little fat, they start with an A, or he's gotten one big one, and he calls that Tuesday, as in Fat Tuesday, and he's looking forward to getting Monday. So, yeah. So he's, again, more and more I feel like a Yank. Otherwise, picture-wise, when it comes to cosplayers, I got a cute little Kiki delivery service, Kiki, as I walked into the con, but I really saved it all after I found a place where I bought, and now I shall not forget Keith David's character name on Has-Been Hotel, a stuffed husk as a cat. So he's going to be joining the Nissan Altima, the cat bus. I loved it when my mom was dropping me off to pick up my car after some repairs. When I got pulled over in Morton for a second time this year. This time over a headlight and, license plates just too worn out. Still, you guys got to have something better to do in Morton. Or, no, defund the Morton Police. There we go. I have said it. Okay. So, I mean, these poser towns around Champaign trying to be Morton, they've got a higher homicide rate. So, yeah, so there you go. But yeah, I think so I got the Husk, and I found a group of has-been cosplayers, all women, so little gender bend in there too, to take a picture with me and Husk, and they were very cool about it. Some people recognized my Harley Quinn Tank Girl shirt, which I get a lot more credit just outside on the street, so it's kind of like, shoot, I see it's kind of getting to that retirement point. And then I was communicating with Andrew TD, friend of the show, about I found a t-shirt dealer. Let me see if I don't make too much noise as I get his information. Okay, yeah, it's called Quick Draw Shirts. They had a lot of fun shirts, a bunch of themed around Tombstone, which I sent a pic to Andrew the top. Hey, do you want me to grab one? And then they had a replica, I guess you call it a replica shirt of Flash Gordon's Flash shirt. Man, that guy was kind of a narcissist now when you think about it. Like, dude, you want to stay low and, not and impress Gail in that movie? Don't wear your own frickin' t-shirt. Jeez. But, I'm thinking cosplay with that. So, I think it's about time that I do a change. I've been doing this beard thing for, a year, coming up on a year and a half. Well, that might be an over-exaggeration, a year and a quarter, but, maybe for C2E2, I will go and try blonde again and be clean-shaven, get myself a football or a Jets helmet, and, hey, see where that takes me. So yeah, cosplay ideas. And I also bought a Tombstone shirt of Doc Holliday. Are we cross? So that's that was fun. So that's that's $30 there. $30 with Bootleg Safari. $30 for Husk. And this mouse pad was probably the most expensive thing I got, which was $35. Oh, and then I bought some pins. I had a fun cat bus pin. Basically, it was sorry. Okay, it was from Teal Teacup. So I got Alley one, which I think that it looks to me like it's Sophie from Howl's Moving Castle. And they were cool. Like, I might look it up when I finally get my May All Your Bacon Burn tattoo done on my left arm. Look up the Teal Teacups art, so get that done that way. But there's $35 in pins. So my cat bus in a box saying, "If it sits, I sits. If it fits, I sits." And her Sophie just with her hat pulled down, socially awkward. So she didn't seem interested in the xenomorph necklace I found, but other little things. I got to a lightsaber booth, and am I a Disney adult? People saying, "Oh, the Disney thing, it's just not worth it. $200-300." And it's like, it's the experience. And everybody said, "Oh, it's the experience." But then your kids want to change light colors, and it's like, it's not for the kids. $300 for an experience is not for the children. This isn't Wu-Tang Clan. So it was kind of like, don't they want to change their lightsaber color. It's like, be an adult, live with your decisions. I'm just frustrated that, again, Disney does nothing to honor Rey Skywalker. Like, the Acolyte has lightsabers. They're not getting another season. We're getting another Rey movie, but I can't get the Rey lightsaber. It's just such bullshit. There, we'll at least keep it PG-13 here. So, yeah, hopefully I survive whatever after hours I'm going to do tonight. And, I think it's gonna be a pretty quick edit if depending on whatever recording I use for our panel episode that'll drop Wednesday. With that said, hey TJ, if you got that file and you think it's better than what I offered, send it my way. It seemed like the email worked, and you haven't sent anything, no text messages, no communication. Like, geez, did the bonus episode offend those guys? If so, I'm sorry. And like Jamie Ray, I would love to collaborate with you. So, and if you would like to collaborate with Cat Bus Russ beyond I Dig Crazy Flicks the podcast, or 90 for Chill the podcast, whatever qualification, feel free to send an email to russthebus07@gmail.com. That's RUSSTHEBUS07@gmail.com. Offer me a movie, a theme, a director, an actor, and let's chat. If it's crazy, no limitations. If it's kind of like, well, it's a fine dramatic piece, it's got to be between 70 and 100 minutes. Got to still stick to those standards. And you can follow me on my social medias at CatBusRuss on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Blue Sky is where I like to be the most. I'm a writer. What can I say? And of course, the formalities. If you want to help out the podcast, aside from rating 5 stars on your favorite app, sharing with your friends, of course, you can be a Patreon. You can join my Patreon. That's patreon.com/IDigCrazyFlicks. For $3 a month, you get a sticker, waterproof, I may add, and a shout out on the podcast, like past guest Tim Bates from the Arena and Night of the Demons episodes, available on this feed, and AAW wrestling interviewer I know this guy was really curious about the Bizarro wrestling stuff that was going on the second floor of the con, but I digress. So the Scoop Staley, he gives $3 a month. So right now, you know what? I'm getting $6 a month to make sure Ava gets all the wet food she desires. And you take a look at the Queen Kitty. She's on my socials. I don't know how you'd resist not giving her $3 a month. If anything, you want this podcast to work. I need energy. I work 2 jobs. So get me filled with Nas and let's go. So just to conclude then, thank you very much, Station Marie Harden, for keeping an eye on me, keeping me out of trouble, still being my inspiration. And I hope you keep me out of too much trouble. I want a little trouble tonight. I'm a kid. I'm not gonna lie. How I keep my looks so young, I suppose. So, Stacia, just keep an eye on me and help out all those you touched in your life. And you know what? I used to wrestle around with Skimble. I think he'd appreciate a little brawl. So, give Skimble Shanks, the one-eared angel, some attention. Thank you for listening to 90 for Chill, the podcast, and we'll be back Wednesday, January 15th. Thanks again. Have yourselves a great week.
Can I hear a wahoo?